friends. Welcome to this full moon yoga flow. Full moons are all about releasing things that no longer serve us. In this flow, we will be using yoga poses to move stagnant energy through and out the body. And at the end of the flow during Shavasana, I will be pulling an oracle card for a moon message. No props are necessary for this flow, so grab your mat and let's get started. Welcome back, friends. Let's go ahead and get started in a child's pose. Coming into a tabletop position, you'll bring your big toes to touch as you shift your hips back to your heels. Arms can stretch out in front of you or down by your side. And let's just take a few minutes to get grounded before we move into our yoga flow. Full moons are all about releasing. So during this flow, I want you to think of any habits that you're holding on to that no longer serve you. And once you have an idea of those habits, I want you to commit to yourself during this full moon on releasing at least one, or even possibly taking a step each day on releasing it. Feel free to grab a piece of paper after this flow, writing down those habits and burning them as you commit to yourself to releasing them. Please start coming out of the pose as we will meet in a tabletop position, setting up to move through a few cat-cow together as we loosen up the spine. As you inhale, arch the back, drop the belly, lift the head and tailbone. Hold here for a few breaths. Now round the spine, bringing the chin to chest. Really pressing into the hands as you feel the stretch through the upper body, holding the pose for a few breaths here. Taking it extremely slow. Now moving through your cat-cow, whatever your body is calling for you to do, remembering to inhale as you bring the chest forward and exhaling as you round the spine. Going as slow or as fast as your body is calling you, focusing on the fluidity of the movement and the stretch in the spine. It might feel nice as you bring the chest forward to look to the left and then to the right. And as you round the spine, sometimes it feels nice to press back into a child's pose. Continue a few more here. It might also feel nice to do a few barrel rolls as you bring your chest down and around and up, moving through a few on one side, then transitioning to the other side, remembering to stay connected with the breath and making sure to connect the breath with the movement, moving the stagnant energy out of the body. Coming back into a neutral spine tabletop position as we move into thread the needle. So planting the weight into the left palm, you'll reach the right arm up and thread it behind the left arm, allowing the cheek and ear to rest on the mat. Your hand can be by your side or reaching it up overhead for a deeper stretch. Holding this pose for a few breaths. Pressing into the left palm as you reach the right arm up overhead, coming back into a tabletop position as we move into the left side. So now bringing the left arm behind the right elbow, resting the left ear and cheek on the mat. Holding this pose for a few breaths. Pressing into the right palm now as you reach the left arm up overhead, coming back into a tabletop position. Might feel nice to run through a couple cat-cow here. Curling the toes as you press the weight into the hands, moving into downward facing dog, hips to the sky, chest to the thighs. Any movement that your body is craving, whether it be pedaling out your dog, moving hips side to side, possibly rolling out to a plank and back to a downward facing dog. Remembering during this flow that I am only a guide, making sure to listen to your body, and if there is something that I guide you to do and it doesn't feel right in your body, make sure to listen to it. Our main focus during this flow is fluidity and moving stagnant energy out of the body. We start to walk your hands back to your feet as we will take a quick ragdoll pose, bending the knees a little or a lot, as much as you need. Grabbing opposite elbows. Might feel nice to sway side to side. Or possibly standing still is what your body is craving. Allowing the gravity to pull you further into the pose, giving you a more deeper stretch. Inhaling as you come into a flat back, hands to the shins or the thighs, crown of the head reaches forward. Exhale as you fold. Inhale as you circle sweep the arms up overhead. Exhale as you bring your hands to heart center in prayer. Meeting at the top of the mat rather than facing forward, face to the side as we move through our moon salutations. Feet hip distance apart, circle the arms up overhead. Exhale as you side bend in towards the mat. Inhale back to center. Exhale as you side bend away from the mat. Inhale back to center. Exhale as you bring your hands to heart center. Stepping now into our goddess squat, finding any movement that feels nice for you. As you inhale the hands up overhead, coming into a full body stretch. Transitioning the feet into warrior 2 feet. Once your feet are settled, go ahead and bring your hands into warrior 2, making sure the knee is over pinky toe side and the back knee is not locked out. Reaching the front arm forward as you reverse your warrior. Finding a nice stretch on the side body. Slowly transitioning over to side angle. Bottom elbow rests on the knee. Top arm extends high. You can also bring it out in front of you, both arms in front of you for a deeper stretch as if you're holding a beach ball. Now circling down and around into a forward fold, finding any movement in the forward fold that feels nice for you. You'll want to start walking your hands now up to the top of the mat as you transition your feet into warrior 2 feet. Once your feet are settled, then slowly rise into your side angle pose. Energy through the top hand, bottom arm, elbow rest on the knee. You can bring the arms out in front of you. And from here, you're going to want to transition up into warrior 2, making sure that the knee is over pinky toe side, back leg is not locked out. Reach forward as you move into reverse warrior, making sure to keep the front knee bent. And from here, you're going to transition back to warrior 2, dialing the feet to the sides of the mat as you come into a full body stretch, moving back into goddess squat. Coming back up as you straighten the legs, arms stretch up overhead, bringing the hands back towards heart center as you step towards the back of the mat now. Inhale, arms up overhead. Exhale as you side bend in towards the mat. Inhale, back to center. Exhaling, side bending away from the mat. Inhale, back to center. Exhale as you bring your hands to heart center, stepping back into goddess squat. Inhale as you reach the arms up overhead, straightening the legs. Exhale, transitioning into warrior 2 towards the top of the mat. Strong warrior arms down, checking both arms to make sure that they're straight, making sure the back knee is not locked out. Inhale as you reach forward. Exhale as you flow back to reverse warrior. Inhale into side angle. Now that we're getting used to the poses, we're going to become more fluid in all the movements. Arms can reach out in front of you if you like, circling down and around into your forward fold, finding any movement that your body is craving. Bring the hands up to the back of the mat now as you transition your feet into warrior 2 feet. Once the feet are set up, rise into side angle, engaging the abs, energy through the top arm. Here, flow into warrior 2, reversing your warrior. Now that we're getting used to the poses, now we'll almost be dancing on our mat. Transitioning into warrior 2 now, pivoting the feet to the side of the mat as you straighten your legs, reaching up overhead into a full body stretch, coming into your goddess squat. Straightening the legs, coming into a full body stretch, arms reach up overhead. Exhale as you bring your hands in towards heart center, stepping to the top of the mat. You're going to move through that another time, only a little quicker, making it almost as if you're dancing on your mat. Inhaling, arms up overhead. Exhale, side bend in towards the mat. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, side bend away from the mat. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, stepping into your goddess squat. Inhale, reaching the arms up overhead, straightening the legs. Exhale, transitioning into warrior 2, back at the mat. Inhale, reach forward. Exhale, reverse your warrior. Inhale, coming into side angle. Exhale as you circle down and around into forward fold. Walking your hands to the top of the mat, feet in warrior 2 feet, up into side angle, to warrior 2, to reverse warrior, feeling the nice side body stretch. Coming back into warrior 2, dialing the feet to the side of the mat, reaching up overhead, coming into your goddess squat. Straightening the legs, stretching up overhead, hands to heart center, stepping towards the back of the mat. Circling the arms up overhead, inhale. Exhale, side bend in towards the mat. Inhale, back to center. Exhale, side bend away from the mat. Inhale, center. Exhale, stepping into goddess squat. Inhale, straightening the legs, reaching up overhead, full body stretch. Exhale as you transition into warrior two, top of the mat. Inhale, reach forward. Exhale, reverse your warrior. Inhale as you flow into side angle. Exhale as you circle down and around into forward fold. Taking your hands to the back of the mat, setting up the feet in warrior 2 feet as you rise into side angle, energy through the top arm. Coming into your warrior 2, transitioning back to reverse warrior. Flowing into warrior 2, dialing the feet to the side of the mat, straightening the legs, full body stretch. Exhale as you come into your goddess squat, straightening the legs, reaching up overhead, hands to heart center, stepping to the top of the mat. I love that flow. Let's make our way down to a tabletop position, inhaling the arms up overhead. Exhale, fold forward. Inhale brings you up to a flat back. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, root to rise. Exhale, bringing your hands into heart center. Coming into a tabletop position now as we'll move into a puppy pose to stretch things out. In the tabletop position, you'll want to walk your hands out in front of you until your forehead meets the mat. Feeling the nice stretch in the upper back, shoulders. And as you're here stretching in this pose, I want you to think about your energy level at the beginning of the flow versus now. Do you feel a little lighter? Staying here for a few more inhales and exhales. Slowly start making your way out of the pose now. Finding yourself in a seated position, we'll take a quick forward fold in the legs out in front of you as you reach through the crown of the head, walking the hands towards the feet until you feel the most resistance. Wherever you feel the most resistance, that's where you need to stop. The goal is not to touch the toes. Staying here now for a few breaths as you allow the gravity to pull you forward, feeling the nice release in the lower back. Slowly start coming up and making your way, lying on your back. Bringing the knees in towards the chest. It might feel nice to rock side to side to massage the lower back. Straightening the legs up overhead as you come into a quick waterfall pose. Getting the feet above the heart, staying here for a few breaths. Moving our way to spinal twist now, planting our feet on the mat, shifting the hips to the left and allowing the knees to fall to the right. The hands can come out to a T or up overhead. Bringing the knees in towards the chest as you rock side to side, massaging the lower back as we move off to the next side by planting our feet on the mat, shifting our hips to the right, allowing the legs to fall to the left. Staying here for a few breaths. Making your way now to your Shavasana, whatever that looks like for you. I'm going to choose traditional corpse pose. And once you found your position, go ahead and close down the eyes, finding a deep relaxation over your body. Noticing your energy level now versus when you began. And as you lay here in deep relaxation, I will pull us a card for our moon message. The end of a tough cycle approaches, full moon in Capricorn. How hard are you willing to work for what you want? This card is a reminder that your effort is required. The end of a rough time is forecast. This card also asks you to consider how ambitious you are and whether you're prepared to pull out all the stops to make your professional dreams come true without being ruthless. With a love question, this card can be a call to face reality. Whatever situation you're asking about, making a plan will help. If your personal life is in trouble, prioritize it more. Release control and trust the universe. Shavasana. Start slowly bringing the awareness back to your body, wiggling your fingers and your toes. Possibly a full body stretch would feel nice as you make your way over to your favorite side. And as you hang out here for a minute, think about the beginning of the flow and what habit are you going to release this full moon that's no longer serving you. You start making your way to a seated position where we'll meet for one final breath before we close out our practice. Hands to heart center, eyes remain closed. One collective breath together as we inhale the arms up overhead. Exhaling, bringing the hands down through heart center. I want to thank you so much for joining me for this full moon yoga flow. The light in me honors the light in you. Namaste. Thank you so much for joining me in this full moon yoga flow. The deck that I use during Shavasana is Moonology by Yasmin Bolin. This is my favorite deck to use during all full moons, and it actually is my first oracle deck I ever purchased. If you like oracle cards, feel free to check out my other content where I show you how I use oracle cards in with my journaling practice. Feel free to share this video with anybody that you know likes to follow the moon cycles. So making sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Doing those things help my channel be able to bring you free yoga content each month. I hope you all have a wonderful day.